So one thing that we are trying to do on the spiritual path is go beyond concept, to see through the nature of what it means to live in a conceptual world. And one such concept is that the body is actually a real thing. So with insight practice, we can dissolve that notion that we are actually perceiving a solid body. And hand in hand with that realization goes also the realization that you cannot possibly be what you thought to be the body. So really, this is not an intellectual exercise. You're not going to understand this by listening merely to this video or to other people explaining it. It comes down to practice. But the practice for realizing the illusory nature of the body is quite straightforward and simple. The problem, though, is that most people don't apply it. They don't go through the exercise repeatedly, often enough, in order for the mind to restructure its whole way of perceiving reality. Really, that's what all this comes down to. You have to see what reality is actually like over and over and over again. And at first it seems so like nonsensical. Why should I look at the sensations of the body? It doesn't really make sense, right? It's so normal. I perceive my body all the time. But really, that's the problem. You don't perceive it accurately. You don't perceive it how it is. And for that, we need training. So what you can do is sit in meditation and close your eyes and then focus on the sensations of your stomach rising and falling while you are breathing. And while you are doing that for maybe a couple of minutes, you will realize that you have certain sensations coming up in your body, like certain small pains, pressure sensations. There's all sorts of sensations going on in the body. And when they come and they distract you from the sensation of the stomach rising and falling, you go there with the mind. Just for the moment, as long as they last, and then you go back to the sensation of the stomach. And what it can reveal is that whenever you are with the mind touching a sensation, that in that moment, like in the very fleeting moment that lasts only milliseconds, where you're actually perceiving that part of your body, that there is no other body. There's nothing else to the body but that sensation. That's what we overlook, because it's so quick. Like your mind may jump from that sensation to another in your body, and then of course the mind creates that story. The body is there whenever I look, so it must be there all the time. But it's not. When you perceive one sensation, in that instant, try to see the rest of the body. Not possible. You could also try right now to close your eyes and then feel all of your body. Can you do it? No, you can't, because you can just jump from individual sensation to an individual sensation. And they arise and pass so quickly that you oftentimes don't notice this. For example, when I just asked you to feel the whole of your body, did you feel your right ear? Did you feel the sole of your feet? The back of your shin? Like your calf? Like the mind has the ability to go there, to connect to reality, and then create the experience. But it's not there until you do. And so the body is really a very vague concept, and that's what we are trying to see. That it's vague and that it's not really a thing. It's made up of very quickly arising and passing individual sensations. And when you perceive it that way, the body feels incredibly light. It's no longer this heavy conceptual burden that's placed on top of the individual sensations. They're just very fleeting, very airy. go from one sensation to the next with nothing else existing. And that's very beautiful. So, as a larger conceptual framework, that's of course only one thing that we are trying to do with the practice. If you do this long enough, all of your experience will be included. It's not just the physical sensations of the body, it's all 6 senses, including the thoughts, inner pictures, inner verbal thoughts. So, with insight practice, that's what it's called, with Vipassana meditation, you're going to see clearly how nature arises in every moment, and that actually it's you're living in an illusory world created around those individual sensations, and that they are really impermanent, and that there is nobody in them, and that they also don't satisfy you. You can stop chasing after them. Like, not conceptually, you don't have to restrain yourself from things, but you really realize on a very deep level that that the whole approach of wanting anything out of those sensations is completely and utterly false and based on delusion. And that's what's going to be dissolved. So, I hope that makes insight practice a little bit clearer. You can do it with individual sensations in the body, looking at them very closely, perceiving them from start to finish, and just do that over and over again. All of what we just talked about will come as a byproduct, and you will realize that no matter, you don't have to sit there and think, how can I perceive it that way? No, that's not how you do it. You do the practice, and the shift in perspective happens automatically. But what's necessary is that you apply clarity to the practice and the right effort. So just doing the practice, noting every sensation, that's very helpful to put a mental label on everything that you perceive. Thinking, feeling, touching, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling. And then you can even get more fine with the labels, fine-grained, but that's really the practice, and it leads to those insights I just talked about.